Hey, you summoned a lesser maker. For Mordheim, there aren't that many opportunities to make a giant miniature. So, we're going to make a miniature of a giant. I was actually looking at the rules for Spearhead for Age of Sigmar, and if you had 3 man-crusher giants, that would be enough to make a Spearhead army. And so I've been kind of playing around with the idea of making 3 of Mordheim-themed giants, and first things first, we gotta make one. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've seen the giant miniature Games Workshop sells. It's really expensive, and it just looks really bad. What's up with its chicken legs? I got this Cyclops from Reaper Miniatures, and we're gonna convert it today. If you're new to kit bashing, it's actually really simple. The main idea is you're cutting away elements of the miniature that you don't like, and then you gotta add elements that you do like. We're gonna be putting this miniature back together with super glue, green stuff, and air dry clay. I'm using Nara air dry clay, and this is more of a high quality material. It was actually really cheap. It was only $4 for a pound of it. And I even mixed the green stuff with the air dry clay to kind of double the amount of green stuff that I was using. And this worked really good. I don't think I would go above a 1-to-1 ratio of mixing it together. It was really nice to have the green stuff in there because it would harden the air dry clay faster. And it also made the green stuff less sticky to use. My idea for this giant is it's living kind of a tortured existence. And this is inspired by a Pat Lore miniature I saw on Instagram. So I'm putting this guy in stocks and reposing him. It can be kind of hard to get all 3 points of contact, both arms and the neck, on the same level. So once I got the arms put together, I just decided to give this guy a really unnaturally long neck. Like, this thing has been really pushing down his shoulders. And I think this gave this guy kind of like an Elden Ring or Bloodborne look, because they kind of changed the anatomy a bit in those types of games. And maybe this is the way giant anatomy is. I don't know. Now that the basic form is all ready, it's time to add bits. And I like using GW bits or 28mm scale bits for this because it really adds scale to this miniature. I'm using a bunch of shields on his leg to act kind of like scale mail. His legs are probably the thing that need to be the most protected, so having him wear all the shields of the foes he's destroyed. This purple rope is just pipe cleaner that I've shrunk wrap over the stovetop. I use this instead of wire because the fibers hold on to paint better overall. This guy had gladiator sandals, and I didn't like that, so I tried to sculpt on some boots that look like they've been just cracked and like he's been wandering and just walking the streets of Mordheim till his boots are just falling off of his feet. I quickly threw together a base with some really thin plywood, some recasts of a cobblestone wall I sculpted, and a coffin as well. I think this looks really cool, and it painted up really nicely too. Primed this with a dark brown spray paint. This is just like a Krylon, and I was really surprised at how seamless the sculpting and the miniature looked at this point. It's always kind of surprising to me how just making everything one color will just really bring everything together. At this point, it's just a matter of picking out all the little details and painting them in. I think it's kind of boring to call out each color and tell you what colors I'm using. I'll just tell you what paints I'm using. I use pro-acryl for miniatures, and it's by far the best paint that I've used. When I got to the shields in the back, I wanted to do a bunch of freehands. So just to kind of show that there was a bunch of different heraldry and stuff that was kind of going on here. Some of them have like really clear symbols, and others like that have rope kind of going through the shield. I just kind of blobbed together some things and didn't even like come up with a design. I think it's best to kind of just suggest things and then your brain just kind of fills in the details. Whenever I made a mistake while freehanding here, I could just switch back to the other color and just kind of go back and forth. It was really cool painting something that I sculpted. The skin had a bunch of my fingerprints all over it, and it made it a really rough texture to paint. I think it looked really cool. I added some washes. I kind of brought in like a really transparent tan to kind of even some things out. And basically we're done. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment. It really helps the video perform, especially if you like it. If you'd like to help support the channel, feel free to subscribe as well. I'd love to help out with your hobby. I have free STL packs on my Patreon you can go check out, and building templates. And if you find value in it, it's only $2 a month. Help support the channel. Obviously, making weekly YouTube videos adds up financially. Patronage support helps me fund and make weekly videos that are kind of bigger and better than I could make them myself. I did add a new Patreon tier this week for $5 a month as well, and that's going to help me produce a digital monthly magazine at the end of each month, starting in January of 2025. Thank you guys so much for following along this whole year. We started the year with 1,700 subscribers, and we're ending it off with basically 5,000, which is crazy to me. I think we have one more video for the year, so just a bit of a heads up. Thank you so much to my patrons. I genuinely appreciate your support. These videos could not be as great as they are without it, so thank you so much. All right, have a good one.